10:32 here in New York. Coverage continues now here at America's Newsroom. We are halfway home, Smitty.
Are we?
90 minutes through, 90 minutes to go. There's a new confrontation over the Mueller report on its way. House Democrats announcing a vote to hold the AG Bill Barr in contempt 1 week from today. North Carolina Republican Thom Tillis on the Judiciary Committee. Senator, how you doing? And welcome back to America's Newsroom.
Good morning, Senator.
Nice to see
Good morning,
you.
Bill and Sandra.
So that's the next move. Go ahead and react to Barr and possibly McGahn as well, the former presidential lawyer.
Well, it's like I've said before, we have a report of over 400 pages that summarizes almost 2 years of work, hundreds of interviews, plenty of data. The fact is there was no crime, no collusion, and no obstruction. So I can only assume that this is all political theater to try and keep something alive that the American people are getting tired of.
Got to follow up on that, because I'm going to move on to Mexico tariffs, because I want to know what's going to happen here, Senator. The president was just asked about this while in London, and it does seem like he plans to move forward with this June 10th start date of 5% tariffs on Mexico, despite what Mexico is attempting to do or how much they are increasing deportations. He was asked about it.
Well, the bottom line is, if Mexico secures their border, nearly 80% of the people coming across the border, that's 80,000 on average a month, will not come across the border. If Mexico will just do their part to try and stop this crisis, it's a humanitarian crisis, it's a homeland security and national security crisis, I think the president is right to use every device at his disposal to try and solve this crisis, save people's lives, and make our communities safer.
Did you see the press conference last hour? He was asked about it by our own John Roberts, and here is the answer he gave there in London.
I want to see security at our border. I'm going to see great trade. I'm going to see a lot of things happening. We are going to see if we can do something, but I think it's more likely that the tariffs go on. Mexico should step up and stop this onslaught, this invasion into our country.
Do you believe the tariff route is the best route right now? Does Mexico listen to that, Senator?
Well, I think it's something that Mexico has to take a look at. What are the economic consequences? What's the cost of securing the border and stemming the tide of illegal immigration across our border versus the cost of the economy of having to withstand these tariffs? I hope that we can get to a good place, but I think the president has to use every device at his disposal. Look, we have 40% of the border security agents today are not doing the jobs that they were sworn to do. They're doing daycare, they're driving buses, they're trying to figure out how to handle this burgeoning population that we have here, and 80% of them are not from Mexico, and 80% of those who apply for asylum are ultimately deemed not to have a valid claim. We can solve this by stemming the tide, and Mexico is a very, very important part of doing that.
Here is the Mexican ambassador to the U.S. Very pointed comments on exactly that.
We have faith in dialogue and politics as a means to avoid a costly and unnecessary confrontation. We act out of deep-rooted principles, and there is a clear limit to what we can negotiate, and that limit is Mexican dignity.
Just that final line, Senator, limit is Mexican dignity. I don't know what you consider a success or what the White House considers a success. If you put on the tariffs, what is considered stemming the flow of migrants? Is there a number there, or is it action?
Well, Bill, I mean, it's got to be measurable progress. If you have 80,000 people on average coming across the border, more than 60,000 of them moving through Mexico but not from Mexico, all we're saying is help us. We want to get the USMCA passed. We want trade relations to be strong with one of our most important trading partners. But we also have to be mindful of the threat to our homeland, the threat to our economies, the threat to communities across this country if we don't come up with a way to secure the border. One of it is to move forward with the border plan. Another key part of it is to move forward with Mexico's own border plan, securing their southern border. If we do that in combination, we can get past this crisis and then get to good, normalized economic relations.
Interesting to note that even in the wake of the president's comments about likely going forward with those tariffs on Mexico, the markets are booming today. I mean, you've got the U.S. stock market, the Dow is up 345 points on the Tuesday morning. Meanwhile, talking about our trade relationships with the U.K., with China, we heard a bit of that just now. Theresa May recognizing China and the economic significance of our relationships there, and also with the U.K. What did you take away on trade from what you just heard from the Prime Minister and the President of the United States?
You know, the president is trying to get done in a couple of years what administrations, both Democrat and Republican administrations, failed to do over the past couple of decades. He's using a lot of devices that were considered taboo in the past. I'm a free trader, but I do think that we have to make it very clear when you take advantage of our open economy, when you steal our intellectual property, when you don't cooperate with us on things that are also important, like securing the border, then the president has to have those tools available to come to a good solution for the American people and our trading partners.
Senator, hope you come back soon, okay?
Yeah, good to see you, Bill.
Thank
Take
you
care,
so much
Sandra.
for your time.
Thank you, Senator.
Thom Tillis, the Republican from North Carolina. Thanks.